Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, let's just jump right in because today we're doing a hard, necessary, and honestly a completely unfiltered audit of something you interact with every single day, your social circle. We're breaking down the genuine traits of true friends. And I promise you, by the time we wrap this up, you're going to look at your context list very differently. I want you to ask yourself this stark reality right out of the gate. If your life completely fell apart tomorrow, who would actually still stand next to you? Seriously, strip away your money, your status, all your everyday comforts. If you were stuck in a situation where you literally had absolutely nothing to offer anyone, how many people would actually show up? For most of us, that number shrinks terrifyingly fast, doesn't it? We kind of live under this comforting illusion of a full roster, but as we'll see, that is a really dangerous way to live. Which brings us to Section 1, the illusion of connection. So we have to confront a massive misconception right now. I'm talking about those completely blurred, super messy lines between an actual friend and just a mere acquaintance. On the left here, we have circumstantial friends. You go to the same school, you work the exact same shift, maybe you play the same video game, you share a schedule, right? Not an actual bond. You're basically just two people surviving boredom together. The moment you graduate or quit that job, boom, the friendship completely evaporates. But on the right, we have true friends. These relationships are built on shared ambitions, goals, a real underlying mindset. This deep bond, it completely outlasts convenience. And the ultimate test of that true bond? It's 3 a.m. Let me be crystal clear here. Having, 20 people to go to a Friday night party with is completely useless if you don't have one single person you can call at 3 a.m. when your mental health is just in the gutter. It's all about depth, guys, not head count.
All right, moving on to Section 2, engines versus anchors.
Think about how people react when you actively try to level up your life. It totally reveals a fundamental difference between people who drag you down, we'll call them the anchors, and people who propel you forward, the engines. When you announce a massive, crazy goal, anchors are going to mock your ambition. They'll tell you to just relax. And why? Because your self-improvement holds a giant mirror up to their own complacency. But an engine, a true friend, they don't laugh. They look at you and ask, okay, how do we get there? There is zero secret jealousy. They want you to win just as badly as they want to win themselves, because your victory is literally their victory. They are in the trenches with you. Let's get into Section 3, the hard truths. Now, we've got to turn the mirror back on ourselves for a second, because you cannot demand deep, unwavering loyalty and connection from others if you are entirely self-absorbed. Being a true friend requires relentless, active effort. It means actually listening when you desperately just want to talk about yourself. It means showing up and cheering for their wins, even when you're currently losing in your own life. And, maybe most importantly, it's having the spine to tell the uncomfortable truth. A fake friend, they stay quiet to avoid friction when you make a terrible choice. A real friend looks you dead in the eye and calls you out on your nonsense. But what happens when we forget this? Our source material actually shares this really somber, cautionary progression. This is a personal anecdote about how you lose a brother. Step 1, treating their loyalty as just a given. Step 2, dismissing their problems because, hey, you think yours are bigger. Step 3, flaking on plans, assuming they're just going to wait around for you. And finally, Step 4, the quiet pull away. The really terrible thing about taking a genuinely good person for granted is they usually don't blow up at you. They don't scream, they just slowly, quietly leave. And by the time you realize how toxic you've become, the bridge is totally burnt. We walk around acting like genuine ride-or-die friends are some kind of renewable resource. Just because there are 8 billion people on the planet, we kind of treat individuals as disposable. But losing a rare, genuine connection, someone whose soul actually resonates with yours, losing them because of your own arrogance, is a very specific kind of regret that stays with you forever. It's literally throwing away a 1 in a million lottery ticket. Which leads us to Section 4, surviving the friction. So, how do we protect the real ones and handle the inevitable conflict of life? Well, we have to avoid this massive, exhausting trap, the nostalgia trap. We're taught from day one that loyalty is a virtue, but we heavily confuse loyalty to a person with loyalty to history. You definitely know this feeling. You're hanging out with a friend you've known since middle school, but all they want to do is complain. You leave feeling totally drained, and you end up shrinking your own ambitions just to keep the peace. You have to recognize the difference between honoring who someone actually is today versus just honoring the amount of time you've known them.
As the quote goes, you cannot drag someone up a mountain if they are completely determined to stay at the bottom. Listen to me. It is perfectly okay to outgrow people. It really is. It doesn't mean you're a villain, it just means the season of that friendship is over. Forcing yourself to stay in a friendship out of pure nostalgia is only going to breed resentment, and it will completely sabotage your own growth. So let the distance happen naturally.
But what about the friends you do keep? Well, those relationships need to be anti-fragile. An anti-fragile bond doesn't just survive friction or a disagreement or a bad misunderstanding. It actually gets stronger because of it. Fragile, fake friendships, they shatter the second you say no to hanging out. But in a real anti-fragile friendship, you don't run away when the vibes get weird. You hash out your anger, you apologize if you're wrong, and you move forward without constantly walking on eggshells like you're trapped in some kind of hostage situation.
Okay, final section here. Section 5, the low-maintenance sanctuary. So what does a top-tier friendship actually look like on a day-to-day basis as you get older and your goals get vastly bigger? Society constantly pushes this exhausting myth that if you aren't texting someone 24/7 or keeping a streak alive, the friendship is dying. Absolute nonsense. In a low-maintenance bond, you can go 3 weeks or even 3 months without speaking. But the second you sit down together, you pick up exactly where you left off. There's no passive aggressiveness, no guilt tripping like, oh, look who finally decided to text me back. No, they just understand when you need to disappear to do the work or just protect your peace.
Because at its absolute core, this bond is built on deep respect, not some desperate need for attention. This right here, this is the ultimate peace. It's a connection that requires zero constant validation to survive because they simply understand the grind.
Ultimately, it really all comes down to this thought from our source material. At the end of your life, your legacy isn't going to be about what you built. It's going to be about who you had standing next to you while you built it. It is trying to cut the dead weight, guys. Let go of the people who secretly hope you fail. Empty that crowded room of mere acquaintances and make your inner circle a true sanctuary, not just a waiting room. Protect those 1 or 2 genuine friends with absolutely everything you have. I want to leave you with a final, kind of provocative question. We've talked extensively today about finding and protecting genuine friends, but are you someone worth keeping around? Take a hard look in the mirror today. Hold yourself accountable, do the hard work, and start cultivating the kind of relationships that will actually stand the test of time. Thank you so much for diving deep into this explainer with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.